everyone, I'm heidiroro and welcome back to my channel. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I am Korean and I feel like I haven't introduced Korean beauty on my channel. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a full face dedicated to a look inspired by Korean beauty. I'm not really a dewy person. I really like to keep my makeup very matte because I do have combination to oily skin. But for today, I'm changing it up, and as you can see, I'm very dewy. So if you like to see how I create a Korean beauty look, then let's get started. So I'm going to prep my skin with a Korean brand, and this is Laneige. This is the skin toner I use every single day in the morning and at night. And I just kind of press it into my skin with clean hands. And the reason why I love this toner is because it just soaks into the skin, and I feel like my foundation and everything applies so well. I'm going to add a little bit more hydration, and I'm using the Belif True Cream Moisturizing Balm. Alright, so now that our face is moisturized, what are we going to do next? Add more hydration. I know this sounds really crazy. I just wanted to emphasize that Korean beauty really focuses on the healthiness of your skin. So you want to look very dewy, and I know for me personally, that's not really my style that I usually do on a day-to-day because I am combination to oily skin. But I wanted to, embrace my Korean culture and try something different. So I'm just using the e.l.f. Beauty Shield Daily Defense Makeup Mist. I know it seems super excessive and I look like I'm sweating, but really you want to look very hydrated. Now I'm just using a Korean brand foundation, and this is the IOPE Air Cushion Foundation in Neutral Light Medium. I'm just using my own buffing brush. It does come with a cushion sponge, but I personally like applying this with a brush. Even though I am 100% Korean, I was born in the States, so I think just my makeup habits are a lot more Americanized. In Korea, they focus on being pale, they focus on being very youthful and dewy looking. I personally don't like that because I feel like it doesn't work on me personally. I think also I am a much more tanner Korean, so naturally I don't have that porcelain beautiful skin that most Koreans have, I feel like. I look oily. I look so oily. I'm going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape, not to conceal my under eyes, because as weird as it sounds, Koreans actually like the under eye bags because it looks very cute. So I'm not going to be getting rid of those. I'm just using this for a little bit more extra coverage and just to hide my hyperpigmentation. And because this concealer is pretty light, because I highlight with it usually, I'm kind of using it also as my foundation and buffing it away so I can look even paler. Another thing that Korean beauty usually focuses on to look a little bit more younger and more vibrant is using a cream blush. So I'm using the Glossier Cloud Paint in Dusk. It's actually my first time using it, so we'll see how it applies. I'm just going to squeeze some on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to tap it on my cheeks. And oftentimes in Korean beauty, they actually don't even use bronzer as much. I feel like they focus more on the blush, which is something that I'm not really used to. I love just layering the bronzer and contouring my face so I can look very chiseled, because in American standards, that's the normal way to do makeup. But in Korean standards, they want everything to look very youthful, very bright, very young. We kind of have this fountain of youth beauty standard, and so I think for me, I just never got used to that, so I never really did it. And I'm actually just blending the blush kind of to where I would normally put my contour, so the blush is doing both. I think this blush is actually really nice because it's neutral looking, but I kind of wanted a little bit more of a rosier look. I'm going to use the Glossier Cloud Paint in Haze, which is a really nice berry shade. Hopefully mixing the two will get the color that I'm looking for. Now I'm just going to set very lightly with the Lorac POREfection in Lite, just to help me in my T-zone area, and just set kind of around the mouth Again, we are going for a more dewy finish, but right now I feel like it's a little too crazy, so I just want to set down very lightly. I'm not going to contour my face, but I do want to give a little bit more definition in my nose area. So I'm just using the Benefit Hoola Lite. It's a very, very soft, light brown, which is why I like using it, because it's not anything too intense. I'm just using my JD Weighty brush, just kind of defining that tip a little bit and rounding it out. Alright, let's move on to the eyes. I already prepped them with the concealer from earlier. And something that I wanted to talk about with Korean eyeshadow especially is they really focus on pinkish, light brown, glittery tones. Nothing is too smoky, whereas American Standard smoky is like the way to go. So I'm just using the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I'm just going to be taking Candied Peach. I'm just focusing this where my hooded eyes have that crease. I have like a small crease in my eyes, and that's where I'm focusing this peach shade, but I'm using a very small amount of eyeshadow. I don't want anything to look too crazy, and with that small eyeshadow you're just like blowing it out, but not too far either. Now that I have a small peachy transition on my eyes, I'm just going to be using the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek Shadow in Wisp. And I'm using this in the inner corner as well as the center of my lids. In Korean Beauty, they use a lot of like shimmery shades. I know this is a highlighter technically, but I use it as an eyeshadow from time to time. And I'm just going back with a dense pencil brush using that same Candied Peach shade. And I'm just focusing it on that outer corner and then blending that gold shade into the peach as well. Also, in Korean Beauty, they really like emphasizing this area right here, as weird as that sounds, because it's called 애교살, which means it's like a cute skin, if that makes sense. So the bigger your eye bags are, the cuter you are. I don't know, that's the trend, so we're just gonna go with it. I don't really have crazy eye bags, so I'm going to fake them. I'm using the Benefit Hoola Lite again with a dense pencil brush. And I'm just going to go under my small pouch right here to kind of draw attention to my under eyes. Now that I have some definition under my eyes, I'm just going back into the Sweet Peach palette with a small definer brush, and I'm using this shade called Luscious, and I'm just going to be adding it to my lower lash line, and that's really just going to emphasize that 애교살, which is the under eye portion. Now I'm using Puree, and I'm just adding it to that outer bottom corner. I know that my favorite eyeliner is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner, but actually Korean Beauty uses a lot of pencil products. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Master Precise Skinny Gel Crayon, and basically the eyeliner is not going to look too harsh or too dramatic. It's just going to add a little bit more definition to our eyes. So I'm just going to go super close to where my lash line is. And usually I like to wing out my eyeliner, but in Korean Beauty they kind of wing down their eyeliner so it looks like a sad puppy. It just has like a cuter effect. So I'm just going to be following my natural eye shape and going down like so. As you can see, I didn't fill up my entire hooded area, so you can still see the eyeshadow when I look straight to you, but you can still see the eyeliner. And I'm also just going to add a little bit of that black liner on the outer corner of my lower lash line. And with a small brush, I'm just buffing that out so it doesn't look too harsh. And just for a little bit more fun and pizzazz, I'm just using the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Eyeliner in Glam Rock. And I'm just going to be adding a little bit to that inner corner where I put that champagne shade, just so the 애교살 area will pop out even more. In American Standards, we love that va-va-voom, voluminous lashes, but in Korean Standards, we actually just curl our eyelashes and just use mascara. So I'm just using the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise on my top and bottom lashes. Last but not least, I'm just going to get that pouty lip. So I'm using the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. So a trend for lips in Korea is to make you look like you sucked on a lollipop or a popsicle. So in the middle is where you have the most darkest pigmentation and it kind of fades out. I'm using the POREfection Peri Tint in Pink Juice. And it looks like a nail polish bottle. And you have to be very careful because it literally just looks like food dye in here, so you don't want to spill it accidentally. And there's a lot of saturation on this lip brush, so you just want to make sure that you add it directly on the center of the lips and then use your fingers to blend it out. And to make sure that I have that lasting hydration on my face, I'm going back with the e.l.f. Beauty Shield and I'm just gonna go for it basically. Dewy, make me dewy. Honestly, I haven't really tested and tried out the different types of techniques Korean beauty has to offer, but it's so prevalent in the United States even today. I see it all over the shelves in Sephora, and that makes me so happy to see that Korean beauty is making a big impact in the United States. So I think this is just a step into the right direction. I'm going to play around with more Korean style techniques and do more future tutorials like this, maybe even some K-pop inspired ones. If you have a favorite K-pop person or group that you want me to recreate, put it down in the comments down below. Please make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you join the family. Thanks for watching. Bye!